Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, is a man who makes this podcast far less expendable, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing, buddy?
Just tuning in for your 50 cents. That's what I'm looking for. If only you look like Megan Fox, though, that would be the better version. I'm sorry to say.
We'll get into that later.
Oh, we're going to get to it right now, buddy, because we're doing the quick and dirty today. We're going to do basically Shane's excellent adventure the weekend that was with the Expendable, which we'll get to in a second, which came in second at the box office to The Nun 2, which is hilarious to me. We'll get to that in a minute. You also watched the #1 movie on Netflix that's blowing up for, obvious reasons, I guess, with Bert Kreischer, The Machine, which landed on the platform over the weekend, and the Continental, which we were looking forward to from the world of John Wick, the first episode of that miniseries that is going week to week for 3 weeks, I believe, started over the weekend as well. I also caught Dumb Money, which is platforming, where I thought it had more theaters. I thought it was like wide this week, but it's not wide this week.
It's not.
So I guess it's going wide this upcoming week. So I will try to be as, spoiler free. Obviously, it's a very popular story, but I'll kind of give my quickie review on that at the end here, as we're looking forward to, I guess it's a Gen V weekend, and obviously maybe Dumb Money for you and some other things. So we'll kind of maybe project a little forward. But let's start off, Shane, because this is all you, baby. Expend4bles, right? That's Expendables 4 in the weirdest spelling I've ever seen in my life. As noted, came in second at the box office to The Nun 2, which is up to 205 million worldwide, Shane. So remember how you were like, I don't think Nun 3 is happening? Nun 3 is probably happening, unfortunately. It's happening. Whether it's straight to streaming or not, it's fucking happening. But Expendables 4 only made 9.8 million worldwide. This is a movie that I thought would have done really well overseas, and it probably has been over the first three. It did nothing overseas. So I don't know if there's an issue with that, or whether they're waiting on something with the strikes or anything to try to get the stars out. I don't know, but that's poison right there. The scores on this: 5.2 IMDb, 30 Metascore, 2.1 Letterboxd, 13% Rotten Tomatoes with a 70% audience score. So obviously that's the best they're going to hope for. This is, of course, the fourth in the franchise, which is always hard to do, especially with this group. And like I said, it's always that action star-studded affair. Your Stathams, your Stallones, my boy Iko Uwais from the Raid movies and all that. And then they added 50 Cent and Megan Fox. And I don't know if they added any more that you can speak to, but it looked like, I told you, it looked like from the trailer that this looked cheap. It looked incomplete almost. Like they just didn't finish the visual effects. And I don't know what to say. And obviously the scores don't do well. Did this disappoint, Shane?
Actually didn't, but
oh man, wow, what a hot take coming out the gate. Oh my god.
I'll get to that. So it didn't disappoint. It was better than the third one, I will say that. Now the special effects, like you said, the special effects were garbage. Stallone wasn't in it as much. He was barely in the film, and this felt more like a straight Jason Statham movie, because he was like 75% of the movie.
Interesting.
Where like 50 Cent and Dolph Lundgren were the 25% of the movie. They were barely in it, which I actually enjoyed. I thought that's why the movie worked as well as it did, because it was a Jason Statham vehicle. I did like Aiku, our boy from the Raid. I thought he was a good villain. I wish he could have been in it more.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Andy Garcia, it just seemed out of place in this movie, as much as Megan Fox seemed out of place in this movie. And that's, to me, was like the most irritating part of this movie. They kind of like shoehorned her in, and she just was out of place. She's not a good actress. I just couldn't stand her. I just couldn't stand her. It was like, and I know a lot of people find her sexy, but I'm going on record. I do not find her sexy. She's got big fat toe thumbs that just
that's
annoy
right.
me.
That's your thing with her. I forgot about what that was.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she's just not good. And she wasn't good in this movie. And it's like they try to make her second fiddle to Jason Statham because they were like a couple in this movie.
Oh, okay.
And it just didn't work. But the action scenes with Statham worked. Tony Jaa, who they added to this film, worked. He was in the second half. So the scenes with Statham, Jaa, and Aiku were the best. And yes, listen, we all know these are B action films, but it wasn't as bad as I anticipated. I'm just putting it out there. Again, better than the third one, not quite as good as the first or second one. It knows what it is and kind of leans into it. But the banter and jokes between the crew, like Lundgren, none of it hit. It was all bad. Like, it was poorly written, but Statham carried the movie.
All right, Shane, walk me through, because I'm a person who hasn't, been in the franchise for a minute. Where are we with this? What's going on in this universe? What is so appealing to you that you're like, I'm up for Expendables 4?
I'm a 90s action baby, I guess. Like, that's my genre, and this kind of hits those... I don't want to say naughty parts because that sounds wrong for a podcast, but like stuff
that stopped you before.
yeah. Well, stuff you shouldn't be eating, but you eat it anyway, and it's not good for you.
Yeah, I hate the term guilty pleasure, but that's
where
you're landing.
It just hits those sweet notes, man. Like, it's cheesy action, it's old school action stars because we don't really see that a lot anymore, and it's Stallone and Statham, so it just hits a familiar note with me, and I'm unabashed in my love for this franchise. Like, it's, again, I know what it is. It's not for everyone. It's cheesy, bad, but I'm in for the ride, man. Let's go Expend4bles 5.
I don't know if it's going to make it, Shane, with these numbers. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry to say. But yeah, it's tough, man. But yeah, if you had to put a grade on it, and also maybe power rank your 4 now, because we are in that deep. Where do you sit?
So to be fair, and unbiased, this movie to me is a 2.5. Again, it's like a USA. I'm up at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I'm popping on USA, and This Happens Beyond. Right. I'm watching it. It's in the background. So I give it a 2.5. As far as the franchise, for me, it goes 1, 2, this one, and the third one.
Okay.
So that is my power ranking order. And it's been a while since I've seen the first 2, but I like John Claude in the second one. The third one was Mel Gibson is just totally forgettable, and with Ronda Rousey and all that stuff. So I go, 1, 2, 4, 3.
Okay, you guys heard it first. My man Shane actually coming to the rescue of a movie that's getting kind of beat up over the weekend. So that's an interesting take by you. Speaking of Jean-Claude Van Damme, we have the number 1 movie on Netflix is The Machine. This is the Bert Kreischer vehicle that he brought on Mark Hamill to play his father. This is, of course, based on his stand-up routine, his story, his legendary story that he did coming out of Russia when he was a young kid, getting hooked up with the Russian mob. This is directed by Peter Intencio, who did Jean-Claude Van Johnson, which is why I brought up JCVD. He also did that movie Keanu with Key and Peele was, I believe, the crew there for part of that. So this is getting, again, similarly beat up, but obviously buoyed by the people versus the critics. It is a 32% Rotten Tomato score with an 87% audience score. So obviously that's the Burt fans coming to the rescue on that. 2.7 Letterboxd, 5.8 IMDb, and a 37 Metascore. How'd you feel about The Machine there, Shane?
Surprisingly, again, I don't want to come to the defense of bad movies, but it was better than I thought it was going to be. And listen, this comes from a person who does not care for Burt stand-up at all. Like, he's okay.
Yeah, I like him as a podcaster and as like kind of a personality more than his stand-up, but I'm still...
Correct.
I like the Machine story is still legendary.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I just don't seek his stuff out. Like you said, he's, entertaining when he's with Segura and they do those podcasts.
100%.
This felt, and I think I told you off mic, this felt like one of those harmless SNL movies they would just spit out in the mid-90s to early 2000s. like the Ladies Man, like just a, and I'm a fan of the Ladies Man. I'm not saying, I bring that up because I will defend that movie. I think it's better
Will
than a lot of
Ferrell
people
in that movie is on 11. That dude
Yes.
greasing himself up and trying to do the Roman Greco-Roman wrestling is
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
So this is what I felt like when I was watching The Machine. And of course, it's based totally, like we said, on his stand-up bit. That's the whole movie. So there's really nothing to spoil. It's like bit for bit, an expanded version of that story, along with him trying to get mend his relationship with his daughter because he's trying to be a good dad. He's going to therapy. Like the outside story is he is off of social media because he's embarrassing his family because he's a fat drunk. So he's trying to do a lot of self-help,
right,
and trying to mend fences. So that's like the backdrop story to The Machine. And Mark Hamill doesn't believe that story even existed. He never believed Bert until Bert got kidnapped during the movie. So that's like the basis of the movie. And you have our guy who we just saw last week in Jimmy Tatro from,
I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Plays the young Bert Kreischer, who knocks it out of the park. It's a harmless movie that for a Saturday afternoon, that's when I watched it. It was like 2:00 in the afternoon. And I didn't even know it was on Netflix. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Entertaining. I didn't mind it. So I defend The Machine. Better than I thought. Mark Hamill was great.
So over under 2.7 for this,
under.
buddy.
Still under.
So
2.5. Yeah. I can't get it to a 3. So, but again, you could be doing worse things on a Saturday at 2:00.
Exactly. Yeah. And I haven't caught this one yet. It's on my watch list. You know, it's one of those like, oh, it's on Netflix, and that's everybody apparently, because like I said, it's number 1 right now, beating out Spy Kids Armageddon, which came out over the weekend, which I watched the first 30 minutes of, and like I wanted to vomit. I was just like, this is not good, pal. And unfortunately, my kids are still asking, like, so when are we watching that one? I was like, oh, we'll watch it, sure. So pray for Mojo. That's going to be me dying on the vine watching that sometime soon. So that is the Expendables 4 and The Machine. We crossed over both watching the Continental from the world of John Wick. This stars Colin Woodell and Mel Gibson, amongst others. This is, like we said, a 3-part miniseries that they're doing week to week. Interesting choice with that. We can get to that in a moment. I think that's more of a Peacock move than actually what the material says. It's currently got a 64% Rotten Tomatoes score with an 83% Rotten Tomato audience score. I think, especially the audience score, I believe, is a little high. I was underwhelmed by this one, especially if you're coming from anything that has John Wick in the title, and we're both big fans. We part 4 we have as probably, top 1 or 2 of the year so far, depending on where we stand, right? And this one, I think, is slow to find its footing because it's all over the place. It's trying to be a period piece. It's trying to be beholden to what the series is and what Winston is like and all that, while creating whole cloth kind of what this relationship is with him and his brother and what Mel Gibson is, which I don't really have a great shake of like what his deal is and why he needs to be taken down. He's a bad dude, obviously, but like, it's a hotel full of assassins. So like, what are we caring about? So I don't know. To me, there was a lot of things shoehorned, and this is just the first episode. So I'll continue, but it's a reluctant continue. How'd you feel about it, Shane?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I didn't get the whole Mel Gibson thing yet. I thought they went in a lot of directions for that first episode, but I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. I didn't know it was an hour and a half, though. I will say I thought it was like 45 minutes.
Long.
Yeah, like I kept looking at my watch. I'm like, I hit pause. I'm like, shit, this thing's an hour and a half. So yeah. I was like, okay. But I do like the background in Winston so far. I like the stuff with his brother. I think what makes it work for me, it's set in the 70s. I think that helps it a lot. I like the period piece aspect of it. I don't love this show yet, but I was highly entertained with the first episode, so I'm gonna obviously watch the next two. But yeah, I wasn't down on it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm not.
It does hurt itself from being attached to John Wick because you expect, like the hallway scene with his brother shooting himself out of the whatever the situation he was in. So
sure,
but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because that's the one thing, right? Is that we know Winston, but we don't know what he was ever capable of, and again, we're learning all these characters pretty much for the first time, so we don't know what anybody's really capable of, I guess, if we're talking that way. So, like I said, that's why it's a little TBD. But at the same time, I don't fully get, besides just trying to line up the timing, I don't get why 1970s New York makes a lot of sense besides the fact that they have to be there. You know, like they're putting the atmosphere in by doing needle drops all over the place and fashion choices and dumpy apartments or whatever in bad neighborhoods or whatever. But it's like, I don't know. Certain characters don't click with me. The police angle doesn't do anything for me. So I'm trying to see what this show is trying to say. And I know that sounds like I'm asking maybe for too much in a John Wick thing, but the beauty of John Wick, and you know this, is that it's minimalist and it's just gory gun fu craziness that we just are like, yes, give me more. It's very simple. It's very small. This doesn't have any kind of like rhythm to it. It doesn't have a focus. It doesn't have as much of that singular star power either, because obviously it has a Keanu-sized hole, Yeah. Even though Keanu says, like 7 lines in one of these movies, like some ridiculously low amount. So, I don't know. For a streaming TV show that I had very little expectation on, because unless I thought it was going to be more explosive, which clearly it's not. Right. So, I don't know. It's fine.
The one eye roll I did have is when the part where he met with that guy who gave him the car, that whole scene. Right. I was like, we never knew Winston was into cars, and I just felt like they did that because of the whole John Wick and his car angle. Like his car was his thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, we never got that from Winston in the original movies. All of a sudden he's into that, like he has to have that kind of car too.
Right.
It just felt forced. So I did roll my eyes at that whole scene with him and that crew and that whatever used car dealership he was at or something.
Right. And honestly, you were in my head a lot while I was watching it, because you nailed it last. I'm still impressed by the fact that you pulled like, this is like watching Pennyworth.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
But then again, I'm like, oh God, they made like 3 seasons of Pennyworth. So I'm like, oh man, are we getting this over and over until it connects to the universe? I hope not. That would be dreadful. Yeah, please don't do that. So to me, I'm probably caught in between these scores. I'm not in giving it a B grade or anything, and I'm not dumping on it either. I'm just waiting.
Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, but I'm curious to know if the critics have seen the whole thing, and that's where they're hitting 64, so it might slide downhill. But Peacock has to be at least a little happy that they have something to put out, because I can't remember the last time I turned on my Peacock that wasn't sports related. So that's tough.
Yeah,
because Poker
it was
Face,
that Kaylee Cuoco original.
You did watch that? Yeah,
I did watch that,
because to me it was Poker Face and Mrs. Davis, and then that was it. And so what was that, like spring?
Oh God, spring,
maybe earlier. So yeah, that's not great if you're Peacock trying to retain viewers. So, but I will watch this upcoming week, and I'll see where it ends. But again, not grabbing me, but I'm here, I guess. I want to kind of wrap this up. I saw Dumb Money. We mentioned this earlier, and you don't have it down by you yet, or is it
did not play yet by us? Yeah, it did not play us. It's on my list because it is high. I do want to see it. I love the cast. We talked about it.
Not helping me,
but it missed out. Yeah. It's not playing down here. It's still not coming out this week here either, which is strange. That's correct.
So over the weekend, it played at 600 theaters, which is still like a quarter of like a lot of these movies, you know, the Expendables of the world or The Nun 2, etc. And I'm wondering, like, because they keep doing this slow release, but at the same time, if it doesn't hit a much larger audience this weekend, it's going to get murdered by Exorcist crowd and, you know, all these, Oscar movies that are set to come down the slate. Because, god damn, just Netflix alone is a gauntlet, let alone what's in the theaters coming up. And I don't know if this is just going to get swallowed up and its destiny is just to land on a streamer soon enough.
I think it is, yeah.
Do that. I mean, I feel bad for it because, you know, Dumb Money is getting solid reviews. I mean, it's not anything where I kind of put it in the zone of it's just outside of contending for things. I think this is going to be a movie that people will, if you haven't really heard the story or haven't gone deep into the story, this is the GameStop movie for anybody who doesn't know the story, how it was kind of betting against the shorting of GameStop and basically trying to deflate these hedge fund managers and all this stuff where it becomes this, they called it a meme stock. This also happened with AMC. There's a lot of things, and they don't really go into that too much, but they do mention, like, it pops up where people were doing both GameStop and AMC at one point. But it has a 7.1 IMDb and a 66 Metascore. And I think it's about right. It's not going to wow anybody. It's a good learning tool. This is not The Big Short or some of these other like high finance movies that have better characterizations. Paul Dano is the lead of this, you know, and it's a deep cast. Like America Ferrera's in it, and Pete Davidson, and Seth Rogan, and Nick Offerman, and many, many others. But I felt like it lacked a certain propulsion. It lacked a certain pulse that I was hoping for, especially because the movie's spread out. Like Paul Dano's this obvious, like this smart guy, finance guy, works for like just as a low level broker for Mass Mutual, nothing too crazy. And then, but he does this YouTube show that catches on for this particular GameStop stock, that he likes the stock, and he shows why, and then he shows all the reasons why people should go into it. And it slowly catches on between YouTube and Reddit and, you know, all the different places, TikTok, whatever, and gets into it. You know, like everybody starts buying in, and then makes it this like rally cry to go and fuck the rich, basically. And you get to see both sides, but mostly just seeing who tried to screw who, when did the elite start to intervene. It's an entertaining story because the story is great. But for anybody who knew the story, I don't know how much it's going to elevate above that level. Like there's I think it's called Eat the Rich, which there's a Netflix documentary series about the GameStop stuff. And to me, this movie made me more want to seek that out, to see where I can kind of fill in the story or whatever, than more. I think if I did it in the reverse, I'd be maybe even more disappointed with the movie, where I'd be like, okay, it did enough to get the story across and get people into it, but I don't think it's going to be something that like lives on in a Big Short or these other type of financial film way. So, and you know me, Shane, this was a movie we talked about for a while. This was one of those where I was like, this is going to kind of kick off award season in a way, because we got this, and then, you know, Killers of the Flower Moon comes out in a couple weeks, and, you know, it's just going to keep going and going and going from there. Not to mention all these fall festivals are still going on, a bunch of people winning awards. It's good. It's not great. It probably came out at the perfect time, but honestly, it's going to land probably on a streamer and probably get more talked about then. Just, I think. So it's Columbia Pictures, and which means they're tied to Sony, and Sony has that first streaming deal window kind of thing with Netflix. So it's going to probably end up on Netflix. It'll do good views there. But again, even this, by the time it gets to Netflix will be in a gauntlet of movies that they're all trying to get towards either award season or like blockbuster stuff. Let me just run this past you, Shane, okay?
Sure.
All right. So this weekend starts just a week after week onslaught, and I'm going to probably miss something, okay? This weekend is Reptile with Benicio del Toro, that like hard-boiled detective story, which I've seen. And because like early reviews are already out, I haven't written my review yet, and it will come out this weekend when the movie comes out. But all I could say is, yup. That movie is a shame. Like if you liked Copland and those type of things, you're going to be digging this movie. Okay. Then next week, Fair Play comes out, which was a movie they picked up in from Sundance. That's been doing really well. It's like this steamy kind of like inter-office, it's going to do well. Trust me. And it has some people from some prominent shows. I believe one of the guys from either Bridgerton or whatever. Like it's going to do well. Okay. Then you got Old Dads. The Bill Burr movie is going to come out.
Yep.
Pain Hustlers, which is Emily Blunt and Chris Evans doing an opioid crisis kind of a thing from the villain side, basically. Then you got Naiad, which is the swimmer story, the biopic, which stars Annette Bening and Jodie Foster. That's already getting some certain level awards buzz, at least for Annette Bening. And then The Killer comes out. Which that just it's going to do New York Film Festival in its final weekend too. So that's going to get even more buzz out of there. That's of course the David Fincher film for anybody else. Then Rustin, which is another biopic that Coleman Domingo, they're trying to push him for Best Actor, which is like a civil rights story. Leo, the animated film with Adam Sandler as the voice. Then you have May December, which is Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore. That again, another awards play. And I'm not even close. I haven't even gotten to December yet. Leave the World Behind, which is the Sam Esmail movie, starring Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, and Mahershala Ali. Killer lineup. Then you have Chicken Run 2. You have Maestro, the Bradley Cooper movie. And then Rebel Moon, the
Zack Snyder.
The Zack Snyder movie. So that's through the end of the year, Shane. And and then tomorrow, because we're recording this on Tuesday, tomorrow starts 4 straight days of Wes Anderson shorts. Starting with Henry Sugar. So good luck, Dumb Money, when you're going to land, and it'll do something. Because, again, it's also Sony, right? So I would assume Spider-Verse is going to land probably close to the end of the year, too, on Netflix.
It should, right?
So, wow.
So,
good luck.
I know it's a different movie, but did you like this more than, say, Blackberry?
No. I like Blackberry more. And, again, I don't know if it's because Blackberry had no hype to me. It was one of those, like, it was recommended, but it wasn't like, I was like, come on, really? This movie, it's going to probably land in the same zone as like Air and some of these other ones where it was like, it'll be fine and I'll, semi forget it by the end of the year. No, this is opposite. Dumb Money is actually probably closer
to Air.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like where it's solid. Am I going to care too much about the story outside of what I already know? And then go from there. Does it have any people in it where, like, I'd say the performance deserves an award category or a screenplay for telling the story? Nah.
Okay.
I think Pete Davidson, I'm glad that he's there, which I don't say that very often. Pete Davidson as being kind of the comedy, aspect of it works and is needed. America Ferrera continues to impress me this year with her Barbie and Dumb Money turn, but yeah.
Okay.
It's solid, but
Fair enough.
I can't say don't watch it. It's a good movie, but it's not what I hoped it'd be, where it'd be setting the world on fire. And here's the interesting thing, and this will be the last thing on this. So Dumb Money, again, where I'm thinking its next turn, its life is probably going to be on Netflix, right? Last I knew, Netflix also bought a script or was developing a script about the GameStop story.
Oh, okay.
And obviously they already have the documentary. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm interested to see if that script got like thrown in the trash, or whether they're gonna be like, yeah, we're just gonna go all in on this and just stagger them all out. That's an interesting strategy too. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on with this, but we're gonna be inundated, I guess, with the GameStop story, which, you know, it's an interesting story to tell.
Right. And your score?
If I cheated,
Which you do.
which I do
every week. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, 3.25.
Okay. Fair enough.
You know, if I said 3, I don't know, because something pauses me about saying 3.5, but you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing if I said 3.5. So it's somewhere in that zone.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, and again, I don't want to like completely shit on it. It's a good movie, and it's a better score than everything I think we've said to this point. But,
It has, yes.
but I was expecting a 4. So
Gotcha,
you know what I mean?
okay.
So I think that's a little bit where I sit with that one. So again, keeping it non-spoilery, but again, for a story that if you already know the story or whatever, if you want to prep, I don't know if you should, because you might be more disappointed. But yeah, like I said, that Eat the Rich series, you know, go check that out on Netflix if you want to do that. So Shane, just to
Yes.
wrap this up, we got Gen V this week.
Yes.
We'll have episode 2 of the John Wick series. And like I said, Reptile, I absolutely urge you to see. I will be
see
checking,
that.
I will be checking in with you to see if you enjoyed that. What else is the big ta-da this week?
I'm going to go see The Creator this weekend.
Right. That is the big one for the weekend. So that'll be the big sci-fi deal for the week. So yeah, it's gonna be another busy week. And I will say, like I said, just from the Netflix movies I listed, I feel like we're all going to be very busy. And then let's tack on all these other awards movies and any kind of blockbusters they got coming through. I completely forget. I forget anytime, unless I'm in a movie theater, that the Marvels is coming out.
Right. I did too.
I honestly, I feel bad about it in a way, but like, yeah, it's not good. But yeah, like,
No.
I don't know if you're gonna see any of the big, the horror stuff coming up. Your Exorcist, Saw.
I'm going to go see The Exorcist. I'm going to skip on Saw because as much as I defended that franchise early on, it's just run its course. So I'm out on Saw, in on Exorcist, and again, this weekend is a Creator. So
yeah, and I don't give a shit about Wonka as like a thing, and I keep forgetting how much they moved stuff back too.
Yes, like Dune. I'm so mad they moved Dune to next year.
Well, see, this is the other thing I want to hear from people, and not obviously you. I'm talking about like studio heads inside, like what makes sense, right? So the writer's strike is coming to an end. They've reached a preliminary agreement, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, SAG is next to come. We'll see how long it takes for them to get over the strike. I'm wondering whether things are going to come back in, but I don't know. I'm looking at like in some ways it looks stacked, and in some ways, because there's not a lot of blockbusters and they move things, even like bigger indie plays like Challengers, that, you know, the tennis film with Zendaya and a few others, they were holding off on that movie. They pushed it back because they want her star power to promote it. Well, if the SAG strike comes on the heels of WGA because the framework is already there, can we see something like Challengers come back in December? Can we, or even early January? You know, I wonder if we're going to see, especially some of these Oscar players that we thought were going to, you know, and Dune being one of them. I wonder if they're going to come back and then land them, say in in January, when there is usually that kind of maybe the hangover of all the Oscar filmy stuff, or those last minute pushes that could happen. So any thoughts on that? You think we're going to see something come back into the fold?
I selfishly
Kraven the
hope
Hunter?
Dune. Yeah. Actually, I'm looking forward to that one. So don't.
That might be a February. I wouldn't be shocked if they pulled that back into the fold.
Right. Selfishly, I want them to pull Dune back in to the fold as quickly as they can. But outside that, I don't think we'll see it. I think like you said, January, February, we'll start seeing these movies they push back. So we'll see. I'm just glad, like you said, you read off the schedule. We were bitching a couple weeks ago how it was dry and it did seem like a desert out there. It was. But listen, man, the more out there, the better. I'm glad we're going to be busy here pretty soon with our shows and what's coming out in the theater and Netflix and all that good stuff. So I'm excited, man.
For sure. Yeah, it's going to be treacherous. We're going to have to be maybe more selective instead of us like we covered 4 things today, maybe a little less on that end. And unfortunately, probably the TV will take the hit on that a little bit.
Right.
Maybe. But yeah, I look forward to it. I look forward to talking to you about all of it. It should be a fun time. Thanks to everyone who's listening out there. Appreciate you. Give us a 5-star rating wherever you're listening. Check us out on the socials at Recent Act Pod. Do all the fun, nice stuff. Subscribe so you don't miss a single episode of us blathering on about all these things that clearly we care so much about. We'll see you next week for more Recent Activity.